This is my announcement for my intention to run for city council, alderperson, District 5 or 6. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to live. So it should be one of those. I'm guessing it's going to be District 6, which is Bay Beach area, right here. So city council, District 6. A little bit in my background, I spent a lot of time in the golf industry, about 14, 15 years. After that, I went into mortgage lending. I was a loan coordinator for a big nationwide uh, mortgage company called Fairway. Then I kind of found my passion, which I didn't really even know I had, which turns out to be politics, I guess. I always hated politics, but I don't know. I'm just charged up, just because I'm sick of all the suffering around me, and I feel like I have a great way to lift everybody up together. And what better motivation than that, right? Um, I did some crazy stuff at the beginning. I actually ran for president. I walked the country. I gave my life away, drove my car to New York, left my car there, and I walked from New York all the way down the East Coast, just campaigning for president in a way no one's ever done before. And I got a lot of positive feedback from people, but I wasn't very good at creating mass support. So I failed. Big deal. I mean, at the time I was like, Trump won somehow, Biden won somehow. Maybe I could do it. I'm a nobody, but um, maybe that, I thought maybe if I put enough effort into it, I could become a somebody. So I came back home after that failure. Tried for mayor, but I had a lot more to work on myself still, and I failed at that too, which is fine. I was collecting data the whole time, for years. Data on and basically just refining my approach to getting my message across in the most effective way. So right now I've settled on running for city government just to get a start. Get my name in office, and hopefully my ideas and my work ethic will carry me to mayor someday, or just escalate, because I want to make as much of an impact as I can. Um, Past few days I've been jotting down in my green notebook my ideas, and I've been showing strangers, hundreds of strangers, um, from every demographic, and I've been blown away by the response to what's in here, especially the mental health reform plan I have. Um, it's been interesting because I haven't gotten any negative feedback at all, and most people just give me a one-word answer like "yeah" or "good" or "hell yeah," and which is super encouraging, and it just kind of tells me that nobody's ever thought of this before. So it gives me hope that it can work. At least for that. I mean, and for the other ideas as well. It's been very encouraging. This go around on the city level, because I'm not talking president, I'm not talking mayor. I'm not talking some grandiose uh, goal that is unachievable by everybody. So I think um, alderman is definitely achievable in any city. There's so many districts, and the funny thing about running for office is there's no criminal background check, and I do have a criminal record, no felonies or anything, but there's mostly just misdemeanors like disorderly conducts and stuff like that. And I'll go through my history and all the things that people are going to attack me over later on at the end. That'll hopefully be a funny part, but I'm going to try to keep this short, keep it to point, and go through my platform real quick, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I was at Walmart the other day, and I'm thinking these big box stores are basically pillaging our workforce. They're making all the profits. They're shipping them away to different states or different countries even, and that money isn't staying in Green Bay. Like Walmart, even Amazon, stuff like that. And I think back to the days when we had like the Rockefellers in the 1920s or whatever, all those big super monopolies the unions came in and kind of fixed all this, improved the workers' situation because a lot of it was dangerous, So I'm thinking, why don't we have unions for the big box store employees? They're working their ass off and they're getting nowhere. A lot of these people, they're not making enough money to survive or build a family anyway, comfortably. And I like my city to have a bunch of comfortable families instead of people working their butts off and just getting paycheck to paycheck, and then their car breaks down, and then now they're back behind again, and debt piling up, and it's just disgusting. So I don't know if I start a union or not, but I want the union to fight for profit sharing, shuttle services. Every item that's sold to employees should be sold at cost, I believe. I don't think we should be profiting off of our employees. Um, and I guess potential franchises affected could be, restaurant chains, Walmart's, Amazon, uh, any big company, really. There's a lot of big companies. There's a lot of employees that are keeping those companies afloat and sending profits their way every day. Why can't we just make it so that everybody's a little happier? So that's the first one. Transportation system overall. I've walked through so many big metros in the country, New York, Philly, DC, um, what else? Basically all of them. I went down the East Coast, LA, Chicago, Milwaukee, Green Bay, obviously. And I'm just not impressed with Green Bay compared to all these other ones. Green Bay's transportation system is full of the down and outs. A lot of homeless people who need to get to work or need to get around, get to church, and it should be filled with everybody that wants to save money, reduce emissions, just make things easier. So my proposal would be to make sure that every tavern in town has a bus line that goes to it. Those lines would run till 3 a.m. And if we get to every tavern in Green Bay, we basically get to every corner of Green Bay, right? Because there's a tavern everywhere. So that means everybody can get to work that way, and everybody has an option other than a car. 'Cause I don't have a car, and I love the public transit system because they're actually kind of fun. You can do work. You don't have to even focus on anything. You just ride until you're stopped. Click the button and walk off, right? I like all the buses to have charging stations for people, especially the down and outs. You can get their phones charged. And I like our system to coordinate with Google like other metros do. So you can just do a Google route, pick the bus instead of the car, and it'll tell you exactly where to go. It'll show you exactly where the bus is, and it'll estimate the time it takes to get to where you're at. And when it flows like that with Google or some of those big companies, it's so easy to get around, and you don't even have to focus on it. You just type it in, and you're just following directions. Get on the bus, get off here, walk 10 feet, get on this bus, and it's just smooth. So that's the second one. Transportation. It's it doesn't go far enough here. I walk so many steps trying to get around. I don't know how people can do it. And this girl today, she's carrying bags that are probably 50 to 60 pounds. She's got three of them. She's a little girl, and I'm carrying her bags for her, and she's blown away. And I carried them from one bus to another for her, and I don't know. There's just a lot of people that need help. Um, Another big one for me is homelessness, and I'm only going to cover this for a short period of time, but I've got pages on this I could talk about with homelessness. I'd like to eliminate it if possible in our city. So I'm thinking of a tiered system. So let's say tier one would be St. John's downtown, right? Um, Maybe that's where the intake is, right? Maybe we do alcohol tests, drugs, drug sniffing dogs that check in. We have counseling services right away. I was thinking We All Rise would do that. They have great counseling services for free, and they really care about people. Like Tanya over there is a great counselor. Randy's a great, I don't think he's a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but he's a super nice man. Randy over there at We All Rise. And, just have resources at step one. And then once you graduate from step one, you get more freedom. Maybe you go to the Transformation House, which is run by Devin Tinnen. He does a great job over there. You pay like $100 a week for programming, which is ways to benefit yourself going forward. It's a men's only shelter, so we need a women's only shelter to complete tier 2 in my plan, but we can always work on that. There's plenty of shelters around. Then tier 3 maybe would be like like a financially assisted living, or reduced pay, because I mean rent in Green Bay is too high now. I think and buying a house is damn near impossible for a lot of people with the lending laws after 2008. I was in the lending industry, and I can't tell you how many people tried really hard to get their credit up, and then they finally do, and then something just derails it at the end, and it's heartbreaking. I put a lot of time into a lot of these people, and they put a lot of time into it, and it's just difficult to buy a house, and you gotta have a cushion when you do that too. Um, I mean, a monthly payment cushion, so you gotta get the payments down low enough to where it's affordable, and people just don't have enough down payment to pull that off. You know, a lot of people don't. And then tier 4 would be total independence and like a certificate that you made it. And I think that when you're down and out homeless, you're looking at trying to get back to independence. It's too big of a hole to climb. But if we can incrementally build them up, it makes it so much easier. And I think people could cruise through this. And I've met I can't even count how many homeless people I've run into in all these cities. I've been through all the hoods, New York. I mean, there's just homeless people everywhere. Green Bay isn't quite as dense with homeless people, but excuse me, our homeless people are very coherent or very capable compared to a lot of other cities I've seen. Like I've seen some people that are just, there's nothing I can do for them. I know that. Um, but ours, some of them are addicted to drugs, mental health issues, obviously. But when you're in that kind of situation, that can lead to mental health issues. Like I was thrown into homelessness overnight in LA. I ended up being on Skid Row out there for a while with a white guy with a broken arm. Skid Row. Um, but like I said, they're very capable. They just need a little guidance and encouragement and advice from people that care. And I just wish that all of our services were more coordinated together. And it was like, so everybody has exactly what the plan is, and it's just it's smoother, you know. So homelessness is a big one. Lambeau Field. These are just some ideas to make Lambeau Field cooler. I think we should push for, and obviously, it's not really a city building. It's publicly owned, but it's publicly owned by stockholders. But I'd like to see. I think it'd be cool if we had an underground parking underneath the current parking lot, and we bust everybody to the games instead of all the individual cars, and all the buses go underground. So a bunch of buses go underground, fills the stadium with people. You go up to the top level, and it's the biggest tailgate party on planet Earth. The whole parking lot is just one giant tailgate party. We got police with dogs at checkpoints, just to make sure the rowdy people don't get rowdy. And then you go into the game and come back out and party some more if you want, as long as you're behaving. Get back on the bus and go home. Maybe the buses pick you up at your voting registration or your registered voter locations or something like that, and we just get everybody there safe, get everybody home safe, and there's less drunk drivings, there's less all that domestic abuse, all that stuff. There's just less. What else for Lambeau? Maybe we have a farmer's market in the Lambeau parking lot multiple days a week. That was somebody else's idea that I just stole there. I was like, that would be cool to have a giant farmer's market in Lambeau Field, right? So yeah, the buses would ramp up on game days. Maybe Appleton, Milwaukee Transits could help participate because you obviously got Milwaukee ticket holders still. We could have a large network of safe rides for an alcoholic fan base. So yeah, decrease in domestic violence and DWIs. And Uber, we get Ubers waiting at polling stations. Uber vouchers maybe given at some of the beer booths or something like that. And then let's go on to the mental health real quick here. So this is an idea for universal health care, but only on the micro scale for mental health reform. So it's mental health, universal health care. So my idea would be that all the pills are paid for out of our government budget. All pill companies now race to the cheapest bid to get the government contract. So you have, like, let's say Pfizer or whatever. Instead of charging exorbitant prices and then insurance covering that, and then customers being left with the balance, or not insurance, they're screwed. How about all pill companies now race to the cheapest bid? Sales of the free pills flood the market. There's all these people that it was cost prohibitive for, or even people that were afraid to get diagnosed for like anxiety or minor stuff, are now saying, why not just give it a shot? There's a lot of anxiety out there, and I don't think you should be ashamed of it. It's not like you have anxiety or you don't. You have a certain level of anxiety, and I think even if you're middle of the road for anxiety or high or low, you could benefit from some sort of anxiety pill to kill the worry. Because worrying is a waste of energy. You could be focused on other things than worrying, and a lot of people worry all day long. I used to do it. Um, so then the volume of sales at the dirt bottom prices would go up so high that I bet you we could make it more profitable for the drug companies. We could make it more profitable for the insurance companies, or less payouts for the insurance companies. And then the customers finally get a way to just get better. And that not at prices, and where's my train of thought here? Let's see. Either way, everyone's happy. Mental health is now destigmatized because it's a universally accepted form of treatment for a very important organ. Probably the most important organ. Definitely the most important organ we have. The heart's pretty important too, but brain and heart are probably the top two. Um, so you get a free evaluation, and obviously anybody can opt in. It's not like you have to do it, but I would recommend everybody just go get an assessment. You know, because nobody's perfect. And just because you have a certain condition like anxiety or bipolar disease or schizophrenia or whatever it is, you're still human. You're still part of society. Or maybe you're a domestic abuser. I mean, that's a mental illness right there too. I mean, there's tons of problems out there, and the professionals should be involved, and I think people should be more apt to go get themselves checked out. Um, you got the businessman who cares so much for his family and his employees that he can't turn off his brain at night. He can't sleep. You got the lonely teenage girl thinking about taking her life because she's alone. The children and women who are abused, the women and men who abuse. COVID doesn't have anything on the mental health epidemic. I know it. I mean, COVID was minuscule compared to the suffering that that we could save if we focused a lot of our energy on helping people feel better. Um, my mom died of a fentanyl-related death, and if marijuana was legal, there would have been no. I had to pause this. Let's go.